Hi everybody. So obviously for those of you that are not used to watching a video version of me reading over the notes, um, this is that. You're going to take notes just like you normally would if I were in person. Unfortunately, I am still very sick and I'm not sure when I will be back. But the expectation is that you still handwrite your notes in your notebook. You will need to take a picture and post the notes that you've taken to Schoology so that I can check and make sure you did what you were supposed to. Our fourth poem that we're going to be getting into is called Nothing Gold Can Stay, and it's by Robert Frost. So for this slide, guys, just do the main bullet points. You don't have to write the ones underneath it. So Robert Frost was born in San Francisco in 1874. He attended Dartmouth and Harvard, but he dropped out of both colleges. He was not a very good student, and he admits that. But he was still a very successful poet, obviously. And Harvard ended up giving him a degree anyway in 1937. He was the very first poet to address a presidential candidate at his inauguration, and this was President John F. Kennedy. The two had a very personal relationship, and Kennedy was often inspired by Robert Frost's poems. However, with a lot of the good things that Robert Frost experienced in his life, there was also a lot of tragedy. Robert's dad died when he was 11, and then his mom died when he was 26. His wife ended up dying before him of heart failure, and she was also diagnosed with cancer before that. And he also outlived 6 of his children, which is really sad. Robert Frost ended up dying in 1962 at the age of 88, and this was due to complications during surgery. Robert Frost was also diagnosed with a type of cancer, and he died during the procedure to have that removed. His work, so his first, I need to change that, sorry guys. His first poem was published in 1894 by the New York Independent. And he received $15 for his first poem, and that is about $422 today. Guys, again, I'm sorry, just the major plot points, so just the big ones. You don't have to write the ones underneath. He won 4 Pulitzer Prize for poetry, which is more than any other poet has ever won, ever. He also won the U.S. Congressional Gold Medal for his, I guess, influence on American culture. He is known for writing about the beauty of nature and his descriptions of the average man. He lived in Boston and wrote a lot about the beauty of nature in New England and the people around him. And he wrote and published 10 books of poetry in his lifetime, and each book of poetry had anywhere between 17 to 43 poems, so he wrote quite a lot. Some themes that we're going to see in Nothing Gold Can Stay, you need to write this whole slide, include nature, transition, and transience, which just means like things that are changing, and the fleetingness of beauty. Literary devices that we're going to see, you can just write the different literary devices. You don't have to write the definitions unless you want to or it helps you. But we're going to see more imagery again, obviously, and to refresh your memories, that appeals to the 5 senses and helps paint that vivid picture in our brains as we read. We have an illusion in this poem, and if you don't remember what that is, it's a historical or literary reference made in a text. So in this one, there is an allusion to the Bible in this poem, and I will point that out to you when we read it. We have a metaphor, again comparing two things without using like or as. More symbolism, when average everyday things represent something else. We have more personification, which is to give human-like qualities to non-human things. And finally, we have alliteration again, which is the repetition of a letter or sound. And then finally, we have poetic devices, and these include a couplet, which you guys are new to. And a couplet means when two lines of poetry are joined by the same meter and rhyme scheme. So couple, think of two. And I will point out what the couplets are in the poem. There are 4 of them. And we can see the couplets even in the rhyme scheme. So the rhyme scheme is A, A, B, B. So this is a couplet and this is a couplet. And again, I will point that out in the poem. We have more end rhyme with this poem. And finally, the poem type is a narrative poem, and that just means it's a type of poem that tells a story. You guys are more than welcome to pause this video to take notes as needed. I will also post the Google Slides on Schoology like I always do. Again, the expectation is that you handwrite your notes like we always do in your notebooks, and then you will unfortunately have to post, well, I don't know if it's unfortunate, but you will have to post a picture of your notes to Schoology so that I can check and make sure that you did them and give you credit for the day. You also have 2 questions to answer based off of the notes. That way I know that you were paying attention. As always, if you need anything, let me know. You can email or message me. I will be around. Thanks, guys.